Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all well. Sean Colley here from On Point. Just doing a live video this morning, just because I wanted to share two tips, 2 pointers to help you out with your business. So as you'll see in the title today, guys, are you making these 2 mistakes that is causing your business to not grow, not scale, not be more efficient for you, and not ultimately to give you time back? So if you're struggling with these things, if you find yourself not getting anywhere, you really need to knuckle down on these 2 areas that I'm going to be helping you out with today. So take some notes, guys. Also, I'm live, so I want to engage with you. So if you've got any questions at all, feel free to shoot them in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them. So, you've got me for the next 10 minutes. So this will be some massive value for you, hopefully by the end of it. So drop a hello if you're in here. I see there's a few people. Hi, guys. I hope you're all good. So let's get into it. So point number 1, if you're making this mistake, you've got to start structuring your day. So point number 1 of making the mistakes in your business is not being organized. So you might be saying, oh, okay, that's basic, but you'd be so surprised how many people are not organized. So let me break it down, right? If you're working full-time, if you're working 9 to 5, for example, the easy excuse is to say, I don't have the time, right? And on face value, it might seem that way. However, just because you're working a full-time job, you're in the process of getting out of that, right? To build your business. So what do I mean? You've got to be more organized. So for example, you might want to be the night before looking on Rightmove, Gumtree, etc., finding the properties that you want, that you have interest in your area, and having them all ready on tabs, right? For example, so when the morning comes, you can blast those calls out, as opposed to not doing that at all. And then the day comes, you're at work, then you feel like you want to start looking online, but then it's too late, because then your break comes, you have something to eat, day is gone. So it's about getting organized. So load up the tabs, and then you've got to be super strict. So now you've got your tabs loaded and you're going to call them, right? But when's this going to happen? Now, when we was in the 9 to 5, when we was in the rat race, it had to be on the breaks. It had to be before and after work. So it's about being super disciplined. We speak to so many people where they're not implementing this, and there's no wonder why you're not getting the results, just to be truthfully honest. It takes hard work, and it takes intensifying the output, particularly at the beginning. When you're working full-time, for example, it means upping the intensity levels. So you've got to get organized and disciplined, and then the output's got to go up. So if you're in the position where you're stuck in that place, you're doing the full-time work, and you just find yourself not doing the things that you want to do, here's the kick up the backside to say, get more organized, guys. We've seen so many people join the Empire system who have been in the same position. Of course, we was in it as well, have implemented and tweaked certain areas of their day-to-day life, and then eventually the results start coming. It's not rocket science. It's really not rocket science, but it takes accountability, it takes being disciplined, and it takes output, like I've said. So I hope that's gave you that thought to think, yes, you know what, I do need to get a bit more organized. That's what I'm going to focus on. Welcome, guys. Hope you're good. So I'll go into point number 2. The next mistake. If you're making this mistake, you need to fix it ASAP. So when it comes to scaling and growth, setting your KPIs. So are you setting KPIs in your business? If the answer is no, do not be surprised why you're not growing and scaling. So let me break it down, right? So when we first started On Point, we was working 9 to 5. We just wanted to get enough money to get out of the job, because me personally, I was super unfulfilled in my job. I knew I needed to make a change. I knew I had more to give. So it was a case of making it happen. So we got our first property, doing really well. Then we got our second property, and as well, it was doing really well. And it's all good and well knowing it's doing well, but how well? So we didn't have monthly reports. We didn't know exactly how much net profit was making each month. We had an idea. and you can't make the next move, you can't grow, you can't scale, you can't leave your job without having tangible KPIs to track. So how much monthly profit do you need to make per month? How many properties have you got at the minute? So how many is it going to take? If you've got none at the minute and you're starting out, you definitely need to know this stuff. If you're in that transitional phase where you've maybe got a couple, but you're still working and you're nearly there, how near? How much net profit are you making from the ones that you've currently got? When you start to establish KPIs and track things, and then the KPIs are also goals, right? So you have a certain amount that you want to make. That's a goal. So now you can push to hit that number. Establishing the KPIs are absolutely massive. When you have those set, you can only get better. Then you can start to really have a roadmap and a path to eventually coming out of work, for example. Or you might have a roadmap or a path to start hitting 5K a month. But without these things in place, you're all over the place. And this is what we've learned in the last 4 years, especially through COVID. Without trackers, without goals, short-term goals and long-term goals, without being organized, you're setting yourself up for failure. And this is, from what I understand and from being around people, businessmen and businesswomen, people in the field, different niches as well, they all have these things set in place, and it's always tweaking and growing, but they all have them. And I realized this is the difference between the people that make the businesses work and who don't. And anything can happen, of course, nothing's guaranteed. I'm fully aware of that, but there is a reason why most businesses don't make it within the first 5 years of operating. There is a reason. And what I've understood is that these things are foundations. So I'll round it up at that. So just to quickly recap, point number 1 was to just be super organized and disciplined. And point number 2 is to get some KPIs, some goals and tracking, so you can scale and build. Establish these two things, guys, and over time with willpower and consistency, I have no doubt that things can happen for you, just like it did for us. So if it has been valuable, just drop a comment, let us know that you've understood it, it's clear, and that you're going to take action on it, because this is what matters. You can know it all, guys, but without the implementation and action, it actually means nothing. So with that being said, make sure you're taking action every day. Make sure that you're being true to your word and staying focused on your goals. And if you need any support, if you need any help, reach out, drop a comment with any questions that you might have, and we'll do a follow-up video. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a great day. Make sure you smash it, and I'll see you in the next video.